Welcome to Click Connect. I'm your host, Craig Sullivan, and we've got a new industry leader who has not been on the show before. So we're really excited to have him join us. But before we do that, I would like to thank Red Roof Franchising and Chicago Title National Commercial Services Group for being part of the show. With that done, I would like to introduce the one, the only H.P. Patel from Curve Hospitality. He's a friend. He's been a speaker at the California Lodging Investment Conference. And now we're going to find out what he's been doing since he is a past president of AHOA. So, HP, welcome to the show. How are you?
Doing good. How's everything going?
It's great. It's just a sunny day in Southern California, so nothing to complain about.
Well, you're lucky. In Houston, it's pouring down rain right now.
oh, oh my goodness. Not exactly what you want today. So, HP, do me a favor. Would you tell the audience about yourself and Curve Hospitality, please?
Yeah, so my name is Hitesh Patel. I live in Austin, Texas. I'm a hotelier and also I'm the chief operating officer for Curve Hospitality. And what Curve Hospitality is, we're our interior design company, purchasing company, and we're a direct manufacturer for the case goods, seating, and lighting. So we like to call ourselves a one-stop shop for anybody who's doing hotel development or renovations in the hotel space.
Nice. My friend, so let's do a little bit of a deeper dive into Curve. You guys manufacture your own furniture. So
Mhm.
is that done in the United States? Is it done, in Mexico, China, India? Where exactly are all of the above? Where are you guys manufacturing your furniture at?
Well, we manufacture in China, of course. We manufacture in India. We manufacture in Turkey, and we also manufacture in Mexico. So we are trying to open up a plant in the U.S. within the next 3 years to start manufacturing in the States versus going abroad. And especially with all the tariff issues going on and just the customs and delays at the ports, we feel it's more feasible for us to do manufacturing in the U.S. versus going overseas. But right now, we're currently doing overseas.
Nice. I think that's putting you, excuse the pun, ahead of the curve. I we do have a movement that's been going on for some time to bring manufacturing back to the U.S. And I think that's brilliant. Now, are you going to do that in Texas, or is it going to be somewhere else in the United States? Are you thinking?
Yeah, we're definitely going to think, but they're looking into Texas, Houston mainly, because the port's right here. And for us, we'll still have to bring like the raw materials from overseas, like the wood and everything, and then kind of do everything here in the United States. So I think it's just feasible for us since our headquarters are in Houston. It just makes sense to have our plant here in Houston as well.
I love that idea, and you can get to Austin to Houston pretty easily
Yeah.
now. So I'm really liking that. So you're fully integrated. You've got, I hate the term silos. Okay, everybody's been using that to death, but you've got a design, you've got your manufacturing. Talk to the audience a bit about your design, please.
Yeah, so our design firm is called CH Design Studio, sorry. So that's basically, we do all in-house interior designing. So we have 12 interior designers on staff. The only thing they focus on is the hospitality sector. And within each brand is also like with Hilton, Marriott, IHG, we have dedicated design specialists that only deal with those brands. So they know the ins and outs, they know the brand standards, and they know who they're dealing with on the brand side as well. So it makes our approval process a lot streamlined instead of going back and forth with the brands or even with the ownership groups. So I think that's one thing that we like to mitigate is, the back and forth and, focus on the due diligence on hand, which is, getting the interior design and having a great hotel that, the clients would love and also guests that will enjoy staying at the hotel.
Absolutely. And you know what? I think that's brilliant that you have a designer who is in-depth knowledge with Marriott, another one with Hilton, another one with IHG, and so on and so forth.
Mhm.
Um, what is your particular sweet spot? Is it extended stay, select service? Is it full service, destination resorts, all-inclusive resorts? Where is the space that you guys truly live and breathe in with
Well,
the
well,
brands?
when we started the company about 12 years ago, we mainly focused on like very limited budget hotels at that time. And then now over the last 5 to 6 years, we've really grown the company into, we're doing over 400 hotels a year, what we did last year, as far as design, purchasing and the manufacturing. So, I mean, you're talking, every other week you got deliveries are happening at hotels. So we want to make sure that that infrastructure is there. And the things that what differentiates us is like, we can actually have the manpower to go ahead and handle these hotels, do the design work, do the process manufacturing, and have a good end result for the clients. And I'm not sure if I answered your question because I think I got a little sidetracked, but just going back to what you were saying, at the end of the day, we just want to make sure that we have a good reputation and we're providing the best products and service for our clients.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to get back to that. Now, with the procurement side, I mean, we've all experienced delays. COVID
Mhm.
pushed everything back. Now, out of all of your manufacturing facilities around the world, do you have one that is just on fire and able to get things out quicker than the others, or is that lead time starting to dissipate and we're getting back to what the norm was prior to COVID-19?
Yeah, I think we're getting back to the norm. We're about 12 to 14 weeks out from the time the
Okay.
order is placed to delivery on site. And pre-pandemic, we were about the same. During the pandemic, went up to 15 to 18 weeks. So it did increase the thing, but we never saw like, 20, 10 weeks, 15 weeks where the items were just sitting on the boats, on the containers, and then, waiting to clear customs. So we never went through that. And the reason being, we have our own logistics company. So we have people that are from the United States that we employ that will come to our office in Houston that we deploy to the foreign countries where they're actually staying at the factories. They're working their day in, day out. So we run production, we run the whole quality control, because that's one of the biggest things. A lot of people try to outsource FF&E themselves, but you never
Right.
know what you're going to get. So we want to make sure that we have QC people, quality control happening at the various factories that we do business out of. And we want to make sure that everything is, the way everything was supposed to be spec'd out, it's manufactured that way. So we want to make sure that consistency is always there. So I think that's why a lot of people try to do it on their own. More power to you if you want to go do it on your own, but it's a
Right.
lot of work out there. And just having the relationships we do, I think that's why a lot of people, and especially you saw during the pandemic where people couldn't travel overseas to go look at the stuff. So they relied on purchasing companies, and purchasing companies flourished at that time. And I see that happening a lot now. People do not want to do the day-to-day stuff. They rather outsource it and have peace in mind that they're going to have good quality products at the end of the day.
I agree, and I think that between your quality control and your procurement, that's got to give you an edge over almost everybody else out there because I'm not hearing that anybody is sending out quality control people to the manufacturers to be there while the entire process is going on. And I'm guessing you get them there a few days before manufacturing starts and they leave a few days after everything's on the container and on the boat. Is that correct?
Well, they usually there 6 months at a time. So we have like a crew that'll be there for six
Okay.
months. So they'll be like watching production for various hotels that are coming through. And then, they'll come back to the US for a month and we'll rotate them out and send them back. So basically, it's just like, just like kind of like military where we're deploying them, bringing them back home and then deploying them again.
Hey,
But it's really helped.
our military is great at logistics, and helping around the world. I mean, they're known for that.
Yep,
So
that is
yeah,
true.
that's really a spot on example of what you're doing. So furniture, what are we seeing? What's new and improved? Are we upgrading the furniture now? I mean, the destination resorts, the all-inclusive resorts, a lot of the upper upscale, full service, have got great furniture packages. Is that trickling down to the rest of the segments? What are you seeing there?
Yeah, you saw like, with the higher end hotels that we do, like we just finished a Ritz-Carlton, and the furniture is very minimalistic compared to the old days of Ritz-Carlton where it was all
Yeah.
grand furniture and like the Victorian look and stuff. So now they've really gone simplistic, very modern. And you see that happening even like with the lower end brands, like you see even with Red Roof, Motel 6, you see how they've streamlined their rooms as well. So I think that's the new look, and it's just more openness. People are getting away from shelving. People are getting away from cabinets in the rooms. It's just more openness. Even like if you look at the closets, it's not like the old school days closet where you actually had a door that opens. Now you have open closet where you just hang in stuff on the wall or on the peg hook. So I think that travel mindset has changed. People, like when we were talking pre-pandemic, the traveler was more about the engagement. They were more in that we made these lobby environments, having these community tables. And then we saw during the pandemic, we kind of took all that away and everybody just kind of focused in the guest room. So one thing that we have worked with the brands is, how do we make that guest room smarter? How do we help the hotel owners? Because when I'm traveling, and like you, Craig, when you travel, you expect the conveniences from home. So you want the Alexa, you want your TV channels, you want all that, you want your Netflix. So one thing that we have done is, working with various brands, incorporating technology into the guest room space, and having it where you go to any, it doesn't matter which brand you're at, looking to Hilton brands or IAG brands, that room, you can log into that room, it'll have all your settings, your favorite shows are there. So that's something that we are helping through technology, and I think that's the new wave. I think, and minimalistic, that's the design that I'm seeing, and lighter colors versus those dark mahogany colors from the
Right.
past. It's very vibrant colors. And the new things that we're working on is a lot of acrylic furniture. Believe it or not, we've seen a lot of people want to use clear acrylic to have lighting in the furniture, and that's a new thing that we've been doing. And we'll actually have that room at the hospitality show later this year.
It's kind of like the pea coat. It goes out of fashion for a while, but it comes back. Ian Schrager was a big one with his boutiques when he ran
Hmm.
Morgan's, that they had those acrylic chairs and everything else. So, but I do like it. That neoclassical, big, bulky furniture. I've never felt comfortable in a room that had a lot of that. It's just like, oh, I mean, I'm so out of place. It's like, get me someplace else. I can't take this. But Pips, you guys have got to be exceedingly busy with Pips.
Hmm.
Everybody, all the brands are moving forward with Pips. The days of no, we need to hold off are done. But we've got, a few problems financially with the banks and a few other things. So what's it like with the Pips? Are they still coming in fast and furious? Is it slowed down a little bit, or is it even, a bigger onslaught than what people realize?
I think you saw a big rush of PIPs in 21, 22, especially last year. A lot of people that didn't do their PIPs during the pandemic that were
Yeah.
forced to start, doing renovations. And a lot of times what I tell clients is, we're so busy to our day-to-day operations, we don't even take time to go see what our competition is. And we had a client come over to our office and, I go, the brand's been saying to do this for 3 years. You keep saying to delay, but I just wanted to show you some pictures of your competition that's right next door. They've renovated during the pandemic. You're the only one left. And then once you start explaining that to ownership groups, and I think the brands have been doing a great job of educating the owners that you don't want to be left behind. Your competition's doing, guess what? They're pulling a higher ADR, higher RevPAR, and you might have a better flag, but you're not pulling those numbers in. And I think it's all about the appearance of the hotel and doing the due diligence on the renovation. So going back to your questions, we've seen a big surge in PIPs, but
Yeah.
now PIPs seem to be going down. We've seen a lot of new construction projects that were on hold. And we're seeing even with the financing rates, the interest rates and all that, people are still building. And we see a big movement happening there on new construction, especially right now.
I think you're right about that. I think, if you have to get a refinance, and producer Danny's heard me say this on more than one occasion, if your loan's coming due, it sucks to be you. Okay, it just does. Uh, but you've got the opportunity to either do a hotel enhanced condominium project, mixed use, historical buildings, with also a new construction component to it. Our deal of the year was a Hyatt house up in Sacramento that had a historic building, and they built a tower behind it, for the guest suites. So I think a lot of that, there's some great opportunities in that. lead time for entitlements and everything else takes a while.
Hmm.
And, bringing you guys in early and often while they're going through what they're going to do, their brand selection and all of that has got to be, really a great thing, not only for the hotelier, but for you as well. I think the deeper dive you get into the project, and not that they've already started construction and we've hired a designer, but let's get you in early and go through this. What's that process like with you guys right now for new construction?
For new construction, basically, but we like for the clients to get us involved when they're doing the architectural drawings, because a lot of times with the new intricacies of the furniture, especially with the heavy headboards and everything that gets installed on the walls, we want to make sure that there's backing behind that wall that can hold the furniture up. So we like to get involved on the early stage, but there are numerous times where we've gotten involved, like once a hotel is already under construction, that's when they want to start doing the interior design and start pre-planning the building. That's a little late, because then you already have, walls that are coming in, you have everything happening in the hotel, electrical lines are getting run, and then it could be something where we need something moved, but then it's not cost prohibitive. So then we have to come up with a different remedy for that situation. So we'd always tell our clients, get us involved the earliest as you can, because trust me, it'll save you money in the long run, because architects will they'll put some interior design specs in there, what the brand has already specced out, but you still need to go through an interior design firm and do all the submittals and create the actual spec book with the brand. So I'd say, get it earlier the better. I always say that.
I agree. I think, we redid a hotel in Anaheim a few years ago, and we actually shut it down. And we reopened 8 months later. And it made all the difference in the world having not only the architect there, because we were adding a pool to a mezzanine level, but we were getting rid of some conference rooms and suites and really enhancing the property. And we had our designer there. We Once we started construction, everybody was on deck every week for a meeting. But the designer was basically living at my office for a while. And it's like, wait a minute, what about if we do this? Your eyes get bigger than your appetite sometimes. And that's where I think a great designer can, reel you back in. Let's get to a little bit of reality,
Yeah.
Uh,
And the
so
other thing good with design firms is, like, they know the cost of each item. So I mean,
right.
they're not going to spec a $5,000 chair when you get the same chair for $500. So that's the other good advantage of using a design company, because they know the industry, they know the hotel space, and they do this for a living.
Exactly. Um, you know, During the pandemic, favorite child seemed to be extended stay. Okay. Everybody, is really pushing their extended stay products. They're also, coming up with some really creative dual branded properties. One select service, the other one is dual branded. Are you seeing more and more of that across the country at this point?
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of dual branded hotels. And what we saw during the pandemic, you had hoteliers that had, older hotels that are bigger rooms compared to
Right.
the newer rooms. So we actually got quite busy on doing these retrofit rooms. So we created this micro efficiency kitchen unit that goes right against the bathroom wall. So you can make your room into like an extended stay, put a little kitchenette there, and then, have like a little dining space, and the room justified it. So we saw a lot of people doing that during the pandemic. And like with Best Westerns, especially with their short stay and their executive residency, we saw a lot of owners convert half their hotels into the extended stay market. And then now with the new construction, we've seen a lot of dual brand hotels. And I think it just makes it more feasible for me. You get two segments.
Right.
You get the extended stay market, you get the limited service, and then even if you go to like the higher end brands, they have like with Residence Inn, Courtyard combos. So I
Yep.
mean, there's all kinds of spaces for the economy traveler to all the way up to the 4 or 5 star traveler.
Exactly. What's new and exciting that you're seeing that's coming from the brands?
I think the newest and exciting thing I've seen come from is like very before they had very stringent brand standards. You had to
Yeah.
go through, as an owner, you had to use XYZ company. And now what I've seen, the brands, they are actually, giving the ownership groups more, opportunities. If you find the same items, if you can source it yourself, or if it confines to our brand standards, they're allowing the option for owners to, not just use their approved vendor networks, but, if you have someone that you have been doing relationships with, or you have close business ties, they're allowing you to use other companies. And I think that's the misconception with the brands is, oh, you have to use XYZ company, or, if I don't use the approved vendor, they're going to find me, or whatever it might be. But it's just communication with the brands, like we tell a lot of ownership groups, talk to the brands. The more communication you have, the more openness you are to the brands, they'll listen to you and they'll work with you. But it's just like, some owners just say, no, this is the way it's going to be. And of course, the brands are going to get upset because it's a two-way relationship at the end of the day. So it's just like a marriage, the franchisor and the franchisee, same thing. So working hand in hand is the best way to go, I think.
Another one that they should do hand in hand with is your lender. Okay. Like it or not, they're your equity partner. Okay. Don't go radio silent. Talk to them about the PIP. Talk to them about repositioning early and, everything else. So great
and the
advice.
lenders will work with you too, especially if you're going through a PIP. And, a lot of times FF&E costs are not included as far as, lender costs. So I think if you work with the lender and tell them, this is my potential revenue I'll do after my renovations, I don't see a lender saying no to you not to do the renovations or, giving you extra capital to work with.
Absolutely. All right, my friend, it's time for our lightning round. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Producer Danny's going to put 2 minutes on the clock. Word association, first thing that pops into your head, starting now. Furniture.
Case goods.
Hotels.
Furniture.
New product.
Marriott.
Musical band, group, or solo artist that you like best?
Madonna.
Favorite airport?
Houston Intercontinental Airport.
Favorite airline?
United for sure.
Aisle or window?
Window.
Favorite sport?
Golf.
Tequila or whiskey?
Neither, beer.
Good answer. Favorite hotel or resort?
That's a tough one. Probably W's. I love W hotels.
Nice. Hey, you finished that with 1:14 left.
Oh, nice. Yay.
Yeah, very good, my friend. Very good. So to end the conversation, Hitesh, what one thing would you like the hospitality community to know about Curve Hospitality?
I mean, Curve Hospitality, like I said, we're a one-stop shop. We like to, we do the interior design, we do the purchasing and the manufacturing. And this way, you're only dealing with one point of contact through the whole journey. And I think that's what defines us compared to our competition. So if you're out there doing any renovations or working on new construction, give us a call and we'd love to give you a proposal. And there's no cost for a proposal.
There you go. And you're working in all 50 states. Are you doing anything in the territories as well?
Yeah, we work in all 50 states. We actually doing a lot of timeshare resorts right now in the Caribbean. We just working with Sandals right now. We're doing all their hotels over there in the Caribbean. And we're also working in Australia. And then we just got a couple of hotels in Dubai right now. So we're branching out internationally pretty soon.
Hey, you let producer Danny and I know when Sandals in the Caribbean's done. And let's go do a show live from that resort and show it off.
Definitely. I definitely need to go on a site visit, so we'll go together.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Hey, my friend, time for a shameless plug. How can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, just give us a call. My cell phone number is 281-948-5044, or you can find us at www.curvehospitality.com. Just give us a call or shoot me an email, hp@curvehospitality.com.
Perfect. HP, thank you so much for joining the conversation on CLIC Connect. You've got an open invitation to come back anytime you'd like to.
Well, thank you, Craig, and I look forward to seeing you at the next hospitality event soon.
Absolutely. Take care.
All right, you too. Take care. Thank you again for having me.
Our pleasure. What a great episode. Time just flew by. HP and his team at Curve Hospitality are great. Give them a call. It's We love to bring you the industry leaders, and we're bringing them from across the country. We are, bringing back some of our favorite past guests, and obviously a lot of new guests as well. So thank you for joining us today. We'll be back with a new episode soon, but I want to thank our friends at Red Roof Franchising and Chicago Title National Commercial Services Group. And thank you for joining us. And please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and smash that bell so that you get all the updates every time we drop a new episode. And you can also follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Thank you all for joining us. Remember, be kind, share your knowledge, go be amazing.